Hello, welcome back to Podcast vs Player, episode 94. I'm Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who brought Pokemon Black this weekend. It might be old, but you've got to catch them all. It's only bloody Dan.
Yeah, hello.
Hiya.
Well, just to forget that ever happened.
Yeah, we won't speak of that.
Yeah.
How are you, good sir?
I'm good. I'm doing alright. How are you?
I'm not too
Feeling
bad.
better?
No, I'm still flued up, but
Yeah.
I'm a big Avenger.
Yeah.
So I told myself. Before we delve into the news though, Dan, this week's podcast First Play is brought to you by our affiliate Spotlight Deals, where we're proud to bring you the best deals on the best new releases, all thanks to our affiliates.
Can we not do this
week?
plug-in bullshit later?
No,
Oh,
because we forget,
fine.
and we need to get it in. This week, the highly anticipated and already highly acclaimed Uncharted 4 at the East End, which has been met with overwhelming praise from critics already, is released on Tuesday, which is the 10th of May. And we're happy to bring you the best price on the game with our affiliate Spotlight deal of £43.99. If that's not enough, you can also grab the impressive Doom on either PC, PS4 or Xbox One with a very generous affiliate Spotlight deal of £36.24. If you would like to grab yourselves one of our Spotlight affiliate deals, you can head over to podcastversusplayer.com / Spotlight to get yours.
Forward splash.
We did it. Forward splash. It's a new hashtag we're going to start sticking in things. Anyway, do you want some news?
Yeah, go on.
Why not? On Friday night, Nvidia announced the GeForce GTX 1080, which is its newest and most powerful GPU. Now, as part of the announcement event, ID Software developers demonstrated the soon-to-launch Doom running on the ultra-powerful graphics card. PC Gamers shot the video of the demonstration and explained the game was running using the Vulkan API. Doom is running at 1080p 60 frames per second, but then with VSync disabled, frame rate jumps to 200 and something, because I've not wrote it down. But it's 200 FPS.
That's a lot, though.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It would be higher, but the monitor was limited to 1080p. So why they didn't have a 4K monitor, I don't know.
Maybe it's bragging rights. They say, well, it would look better, but your monitor's shit. So
I imagine it still looks fucking good.
yeah. Either way, I'm very impressed. Like I'm genuinely contemplating picking one of these up. They're released on the 27th of May, I believe.
Well, we are. It's towards the end of the month. The card comes out, and Doom is out May 13th. If you're interested.
No.
We was actually talking about this yesterday, I think it was, and the 1080 is better than a Titan.
Well,
and it's like £400 cheaper.
it is, but that's the thing. If it's that much cheaper, then they're saying that it's better, but it will still fall down in some aspects. But either way, I think it's going to be better than the one I've got.
Can you get 200 FPS out of a Titan?
But yeah, of course you can.
On something like Doom?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't got
Yeah. I mean, don't forget, it only came out like 4 or 5 months ago. Well, no. Actually, no.
Like a year, hasn't it?
Close to a year now. Actually, yeah. Think about it. But they're not going to make such a leap in hardware sort of technology. Make something better than the one they made before, and then sell it for almost half the price. Because
I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong. That will get
sell at a loss, make a profit in the
long run. Yeah, because you get everyone to buy one, which I'm very much going to be a part of that crowd. I think.
I don't think a lot of people are buying Titans. If I'm totally honest.
That's the thing. A lot of people are saying, "Well, it is the best," and you know, it'll. But it's sorry, should I say it's the best one that Nvidia do? And it'll last me 10 years. It'll play.
No one gives a fuck about Radeon.
Well, no, AMD though they do some very very good cards. You know, rivaling sometimes better. But this one is a case of, for the price, it's probably the best value for money that you'll be able to get. You know, whether it's
whether it's
the
1080 or the Titan.
No, the 1080. So whether it's technically superior or not. The fact is, you will never find one at release that much better than, well, you know, something that can handle that much allocation and be that, no, I won't say cheap, but good value for sure.
Oh, 600 quid's pretty cheap compared to £1,000.
Well, no, it's like $600, which is only about 400 quid.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll work out at straight spit. It'll probably still be way cheaper over there, and I reckon it'll be better. If a 980 Ti is like 600 quid, yeah. I'm gonna put good money on this being around about the same price.
Maybe. I mean, we can speculate, but it's not going to make any difference. We'll have to just wait until the end of the month with everyone else, and just see if it's actually going to be worth it.
One.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to things that we won't get anytime soon. Power Rangers.
Oh man.
Yeah, you knew it was coming up.
Yeah, I'd kind of forgotten about this though.
The new Power Rangers reboot film hits cinemas next year, March 24th, and we got to see the teenagers' attitude outside of the costumes and Elizabeth Banks' Rita Repulsa a few weeks ago. But now we've seen the actual Rangers in costume, all thanks to Tony Stark. See, I don't actually think they're that bad.
I think that they're similar in design, sure, but man, I don't know. I'm really lost on it. Like it just reminds me of Blue Beetle. You know, like this sort of like armor that would just build itself around you. Whereas,
well, from what the director has said, it's more of like a symbiote thing. It's not actually.
Was that the case with the originals though?
Well, no, the originals was just. They just kind of appeared on them when they morphed.
Yeah, it was just. There was some enhancement that they got from it, but.
No, they got like super speed, super strength.
Yeah.
All standard superhero stuff. But it was obviously just spandex costumes down to budget. Yeah. That's why in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers film, they had like the proper armoured costumes compared to the show.
Yeah, which they immediately ditched and got their robe ninja suits.
Yeah, the ninja suit. You saw them in like the, not so much now, but I remember when I watched it, I was like, oh, these are the best suits fucking ever. And then you see them twice, you know, the fuck? What they got pajamas on for?
Yeah, it's like you just downgraded. But it's just like, well, their other suits don't work, so it's this or nothing.
Yeah, but it's like, well, I take the fuck's sake.
Yeah, just write a different outcome to it, but whatever. I think when we actually see these in action, it will be a case of, are they just sort of Iron Man suits? Or are they going to be that kind of Ben Affleck Batman kind of like Kevlar sort of? It looks like it's a lot more padded than it actually is.
Yeah, than it actually is.
So it could just be like some sort of like liquid skin that solidifies metal kind of thing, like the Iron Man Extremis armor.
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah.
But I off that picture, I don't like it. Them. No,
I think they look alright. I don't see the big fucking. I think it's a bit of a divide. Like people either hate it or people like it, and a lot of people that don't like it are like, oh, it's not like I remember it when I was growing up and all this shit. And it's at the end of the day, they're aiming for not a mature audience. It's still going to be like a kids' film. But if they come out in spandex and motorbike helmets, it's just going to. You're going to be back in the fucking 90s again. And don't get me wrong, I loved Power Rangers, but I watched it recently on Netflix, and it's a big bag of shit. It's just awful. But I think if they can come out and basically make kind of like an Avengers type film that is a lot more accessible to people who used to like it, kids that are currently watching, I don't know, Dino Thunder Shitstorm, whatever it is now, and just like new fans alike, basically just make a superhero film about the Power Rangers. That's all they need to do.
Well, they did a really good job with that fan film, that like independent film.
They did, and I really enjoyed it, but it can't be that graphic.
Well, see, that was the thing. Like, if you're going to have these... Is it the original Power Rangers, or is this like some Power Rangers...
No, it's Mighty Morphin.
Yeah, so it's
Mighty Morphin, like a reboot.
So, an origin, or...
I'm going to guess it's from... The director, Dean Israelite, said the show is about... the show was about kids coming of age, about metamorphosis. These suits needed to feel like they were catalysed by these kids and their energy and their spirit. And then the rest of the synopsis is basically kids learning how to be themselves and work together to overcome Rita. So I'm guessing it's going to be an origin.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to how the Zords fit into all this, because I mean, like you say, this is very 90s, and it's a case of just how can you make these kids who have just got a piece of plastic that they whip out in front of them, and then all of a sudden a robot appears from nowhere, and then they all get the shit kicked out of them, and then they join together to make one big fighting robot to fight the baddie that's now enormous for some reason. And it's just sort of like, how much of this can they put in before you just go, Jesus, this is ridiculous.
See, I've got a feeling we won't see the Zords.
You have to. You can't have the Power Rangers without them.
Well, from the pictures, Rita, which it was you that actually showed me. I didn't even know they'd released a picture of Rita.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Banks's Rita is nothing like the Rita from the TV show. But there is speculation that she is, because of her costume being very similar to the Power Rangers suits, she is actually the Green Ranger, and she was one of the original Rangers from when Zordon first started.
That sounds like that. No, that can't be the case.
Well, I haven't got a problem with it, because Rita's got the Dragon Zord power coin anyway, because she gives it to Tommy. So there's no reason why she wouldn't use its powers while she had it,
but
before just passing it on.
She had her own. She's got her own powers though. She's like a witch.
Yeah, but obviously not that good. So, I know she's a villain. Why not have more powers?
Well, if she's a villain, why'd she give it away?
I don't know. Maybe she.
An idiot. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Well, considering she sends out them putties, monster things, at every chance, and instead of just sending them out giant sized and squashing everyone, she sends them out small,
and then grows them,
and then grows the fucking.
Yeah, I don't like her look at all. I mean,
it's grown on me.
There's taking liberties from saying, well, this is, the Power Rangers, the suits for them, they're basically the same design, but they just sort of enhance them. Yeah. They're taking liberties. There is nothing
you won't
to
look
do
at
with
this picture. No, when you showed me, I wouldn't have guessed who it was if I didn't know already. But at least with these, you look at them and you don't go,
"What's going on there?" Yeah. See,
you'd know full well it's the Power Rangers.
That's a very good. That's a very good point, or a good way of looking at it, should I say? Like, if you can show someone a picture of it and they go, I don't understand. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my god, is that Power Rangers? Holy shit, they look amazing. But if you showed that to anyone, they go, Poison Ivy? Someone from Game of Thrones, maybe? I don't. But the last person on your mind is the bloody Asian woman with the great big fucking head thing on.
And cone boobs.
Yeah, going.
Make my monsters grow.
Oh, man. Like,
I'm gonna binge watch this on Netflix.
Yeah, you need to catch up on the story. I'm sure you've forgotten all about it.
Nope.
I did actually watch. Did I tell you about that? I watched the actual film probably not that long ago. I think it was on Amazon Prime, and I was just like,
last week.
Fuck it, I'll give it a go. Like, I remember having it on video, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just going to be a bit nostalgic, man. It wasn't. It was so bad. I was just like, oh, man.
I watched it last week, and I got to where did I get to? It was just after Ivan Ooze was trashing the command centre.
Oh yeah.
And I already knew it was going to be poor, because it's not exactly age great. And the reason I turned it off, I was just going to watch it, but fuck it. But the reason I turned it off is, you probably remember because you obviously watched it recently. You know when he's in there and he electrocutes Alpha, and he's got all the lightning, like the electric around him, and he's just spinning around.
He's got a flute thing.
Yeah, and he's just like trashing the place. Yeah. But when he electrocutes Alpha, and like Alpha's just got like all the electric flying like around his body as it's electrocuting him, he's spinning around. It's like aye. And then the camera turns to Zordon, and then back to Ivan. And then Alpha's just in the background, but they haven't even bothered putting any effects on him. He's just spinning in a circle.
Well, he'd worn off by that point. He was still just a bit screwed up. It's fine. I can explain these kind of things away. It's fine.
If they haven't got the effort to do that, I ain't got the effort to fucking...
I'm sure it wasn't a case of effort. I'm sure it was a case of budget.
I don't know. At this point, there must have been a fair bit. To be fair, though, that's probably why you only saw them in the suits at the beginning and at the end.
Well,
and why you don't see the Zords until
I was going to say, I don't even remember having the normal Zords. It was after they'd got their ninja suits and then they got their new animal. So what happens to their old Zords? They're like, oh, okay, we won't be used anymore then. Thanks, guys.
Well, they had... I don't get it because... I could be totally mistaken, but you know where the Zords come from when they call them, and they come out of the lava and stuff?
Oh man, I don't even remember that. I just remember them just appearing from somewhere in that kind of like Thunderbirds way, where they just sort of pop out of the ground and stuff.
It was always the same footage.
Yeah,
from
of course it was.
Fucking Super Sentai thing.
Oh shit, yeah, of course.
But did you know? Funnily enough, Big Bad that Beetleborgs bollocks. Did you ever watch that? Big Bad Beetleborgs.
No.
Well, it was from the same people who made Power Rangers, but obviously Power Rangers, all the footage of the actual Power Rangers was from Super Sentai, and it was the only new footage
was them out
was them out of the costumes until they got a bigger budget, and then when you'd see them in the Ranger suits that's when they had the bigger budget, but it was still mostly old footage from Super Sentai. Anyway, Beetleborgs did the same premise, but it was from a different Japanese show.
Right.
But they used up all the footage in like 4 episodes. So every episode after was footage you'd already seen.
Oh, no way. Oh man, that's cheap.
Because they didn't have as many episodes as Power Rangers.
Shit.
Yeah. But I totally forgot I was going with that. So anyway, it's out next year. Hopefully we'll get a trailer, because I am quite looking forward to it. I've still hold a soft spot for Power Rangers.
See, I don't, not in that sort of same degree, I don't think.
I don't know what it is about it. I don't know whether it's just good memories or what. I don't know. But
I only remember the original ones, and I remember having the little playset things you get. So I had the Pink Ranger, what were they called? The little things that they flip out in front of them.
The morphers.
Yeah, if that's what they're called, yeah. But that would like open up, and there's a little.
Why did you have the pink one?
What does that make? What difference does that make?
Because it's a girl's one.
Well, that's incredibly not progressive.
Not when you're like 8.
It doesn't make any difference. I wanted the blue one because the blue one was cool.
Really?
Yeah, man. He had glasses and everything. He was a smart one. I was always like, yeah, you're my man. And he's got a wolf as well.
So I was. He had a Triceratops.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the when he got his ninja power.
Oh, the ninja.
He got a wolf then. But yeah, no, he was a what was it? A bear? No, that was red.
No, that was Aisha.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, Rocky was the bear.
Yeah, because she got Rocky.
Rocky was the gorilla.
Yeah.
Aisha
Adam
was the bear. Adam was the frog.
Oh yeah, that was it. Because he was just like, why am I a frog?
Like the kid, like a prince.
It's just like that doesn't help me in battle though, does it? Fuck's sake.
And Tommy gets a fucking falcon.
Oh. It's just like, alright, favouritism. Of course the white guy gets the best bloody thing.
That's something that always got me, is like, in like obviously the original series, like Jason was the leader, of the Power Rangers. And then Tommy came along and he was the green one, he was evil, and then they managed to turn him good, and then he lost his powers, and then Zordon gave him the power of light, which couldn't be corrupted by evil, and obviously became the White Ranger, and then he was just automatically the leader, and like nothing was ever said. It's like
have you led a team
Jason
before?
left.
Do you know? Do you know what's going on?
You do remember he came very close to killing everyone in this command centre.
Yeah.
But we'll make him the leader. It's fine. It's cool. Oh, even when I was little, that bugged me. I was like, I don't care because he was my favourite, but
yeah,
it's really weird. Anyway, enough about Power Rangers, Dan.
Please.
I was going to say we was right, but you was right. Big story.
Yeah, and I don't want you to talk about this because you've got no authority to.
Well, I think you'll find, Dan, I'm the one that's wrote the words.
I don't care. I've got it all in my brain. Stem.
Well, let's see how much you get right then, Dan.
All right. Did you watch the Battlefield 1 launch announcement?
I did. Not announcement. I watched the trailer.
Oh right. Okay. So
I was busy working.
You didn't watch it all. Okay, like I did. Okay. So yeah, as I say, no authority to speak on the matter. But yeah, I tuned in at 9 p.m. GMT to watch the opening trailer. It wasn't a trailer, it was all the developers and the project leaders and stuff all talking about how great Battlefield was. It's like, no one cares about this, guys. Just, we all tuned in to show the trailer. You know, that's what we wanted to watch. We all wanted to see the trailer. After about 20 minutes of waffling on, and you know, I've got no problem with saying, you know, this is the sort of process we had to go through, you know, and this is the history. You do that after. You show your trailer, and then you whinge on about how...
Do an interview.
Do the whole thing afterwards, it's fine. Yeah. Or do it before, and then at 9 o'clock, it's just like, look, if you want to watch the ins and outs of it, that's fine. Tune in at 8. At 9 is when we'll show the trailer. That way the people who just want to see the trailer can just drop in, it finishes, they drop back out again. But hopefully, if you're talking about something interesting, it will keep them... Like, I watched the whole thing, and it was fairly interesting, them sort of saying, yeah, this is the process that we like to follow, and this is how it all started, sort of thing. But I very quickly got bored of that. I was just like, I'm just here for the trailer, mate.
Yeah, how long did that take, though?
I after about sort of...
Before you got to see the trailer?
It was about 15-20 minutes, I think.
Fucking hell.
And it was just sort of like... And they go, okay, so that's all we have to say about that. And you're just like, oh, okay. And then it's like, and here's this guy to talk about, and then here's a YouTuber. And it's just like, fuck me, we just showed the bloody trailer already. If I'm still interested, I'll watch afterwards. But then they did show it, and I was right, absolutely right. I knew that if they wanted to keep people on board with Battlefield and the sort of first-person battle that's going on between Call of Duty and Battlefield overall, they had to do something historic. They had to go back to a big event. And whilst it is still the first-person shooter, something like the Crimean War or the Crusades or something like that would still be interesting, but there's no guns in it, so people aren't going to be interested. So I was saying that you either had to go back and do World War II, which would be a bit disappointing given the amount of time that... the amount of games that have been set in World War II, in and around. But something like Vietnam would be plausible, but considering Call of Duty have done World at War, and they've done, I think Black Ops 1 was also partly in Vietnam as well. Again, it's already been done, really. So you could go back and do it better, that'd be fine. The Cold War, someone suggested to me, and I thought, actually, that'd be a great, you know, sort of the 60s, possible nukes flying around and stuff, that'd be great. But the one I wanted to see most of all was World War One, mainly for the reason that there'd be trenches, it'd be horrific, you know, mustard gas, bayonet charges, all that sort of stuff. And then as soon as that trailer started up, and then there was like a biplane flying around, I was just like, oh man, they've done it. They've only gone and bloody done it. Yeah. So I am genuinely pleased that they managed to stick, and they just went, yeah, we're going to go back. No more advanced warfare, no more space warfare or anything like that. We'll go back to the story. You know, it's about putting people in these kind of positions where they have to deal with the horrors of war. And, you know, there's no more sort of like horrible warfare than being sat in trenches for months on end and then charging into no man's land and getting shot immediately.
Well, just off that, when the trailer for Battlefield 1 went up, obviously millions of people watched it.
Yeah.
And the new Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare, is now the most disliked video on YouTube.
See, I don't like that. I really don't like it. I mean, I've got my own personal preferences when it comes to these kind of things. Call of Duty, I'll always give a chance, but they always seem to ruin it, so I never buy it. But to watch something like Battlefield and watch the Battlefield 1 trailer and just go immediately onto Call of Duty's YouTube trailer thing and downvote it just because you preferred it, that's not how it works. You can like both. What's I don't get what the problem is.
I'm not a big fan of either, and that's no secret.
Yeah.
I prefer Battlefield to Call of Duty, but if Infinite Warfare hadn't been Infinite Warfare and they'd have come out with this, then it'd be a completely different story.
I absolutely would have said, "Oh, well done, you're getting back on track. You're going back to your roots." But instead they've said, here's another crazy future warfare thing, and then, like you said last week, but if you want the old school classic that everyone loved us for, buy the new one. And it's just like, nope, don't do that. Maybe put some effort in, which is what they've done with Battlefield. They've gone back and said, we're going to do everything. We're going to have naval, air, ground combat with tanks and all that kind of stuff.
Looks like there's horses and stuff as well.
Well, that was something I was actually talking about on the day at work. Is that, if you had, like I say, there's the trenches, there's the no man's zone in the middle, everyone just sort of waiting around, and if there was cavalry charges and that sort of stuff, for added vehicles, really. But what I don't want them to do, because this is potentially some kind of alternate World War One, so it's not exactly as it happens.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because that way they can put in some more interesting things to play around with,
Yeah, it's not just a standard war game.
Yeah, basically, because it would get fairly tiresome because there isn't a huge amount. They're saying that there's like gun customization and stuff like that. It's like, well, that wasn't really an option back then. You had about 20 bullets and that was it, and you had to sit in a trench and wait for someone to blow a whistle. So I do want there to be something like, I doubt it'll be multiplayer, but certainly in the campaign where you're in a trench and then they blow the whistle and you've just got to go over the top and you've just got a bayonet and you are just beating motherfuckers down and just stabbing everyone. It's going to be horrific. So I'm quite pleased with the fact that in this interview they were saying there's going to be this huge gore factor. It needs to be visceral and dirty and grimy and horrible. And that's what encapsulates World War One for me. It was horrific.
It wasn't a fairground, right?
Well, no, but still World War Two. There's still there was all sorts of new technology and stuff and different kinds of planes, and it was on a more broader scope, and this was still fought around the world, but it was months on end sitting in the same dirty hole, waiting to finally charge over the top and get an extra 50 metres of land, and then you'd be back to square one again, whilst there's biological attacks going on. It's certainly not pretty, but I think that it will open up a new interesting side of first-person shooting, and I'm really looking forward to how they sort of take that with the multiplayer element, calling in artillery strikes and mustard gas and naval combat that's firing onto the ground and stuff. I think it'd be amazing.
What I'm quite looking forward to, not looking forward to because I don't know if it's going to be that, but hopefully they'll implement it, is obviously it's the same people that made Battlefront, and one of my favourite things when I played Battlefront is how perfect the sound is. And it just totally immerses you, and it just feels like Star Wars, and it's fucking perfect. Obviously this is going to be a lot harder, but if they can get the sound right, so you can hear like planes coming from a distance and bullets as they're fucking hitting the trenches and whatnot, and I just want it to be really immersive because I think it's got the potential to be something pretty special.
I agree, and they did do something which I was actually going to mention, but I'm quite glad you brought it up because that's quite a nice segue into it. But in the trailer, there's like a bunch of guys who are firing artillery rounds, and then there's just sort of this deafening sort of like white noise, like flashbang kind of thing, and they're all sort of like So if there's that kind of element to it as well, it's just that things are so loud, it just deafens you, and you can't hear anything for a couple of seconds if you're too close to artillery when it starts firing. Or you're near a tank that fires and you can't hear. It's just like you're right. It's completely immersive.
If they add Archer DLC for stuff like that, so a flashbang goes off and you can press LB and just go mop, 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 I'd buy it straight away.
Yeah, unlikely.
Yeah, very unlikely. But yeah, that's perfectly like flashbangs and stuff there, because it's quite good in games like a lot of Tom Clancy games have flashbang effects, but it's usually only if you're facing them. Right, like if you're like, just turn away.
Well, like there's like flashbangs in Battlefront as well, and they really annoy you because like as soon as they go off, the noise that it makes is so penetrating. You're just like, oh, and you can't look at the screen because it's just pure white, and it's just it is the closest probable thing you'll get to actually having to experience it. You can't see what the fuck's going on, and you can't hear anything, and you're just going, oh god.
Which is perfect.
Well, that's
what you want.
But there aren't going to be flashbangs in this. It'll just be simple shockwave,
But I imagine a reasonably close explosion or a gunshot that's too close to your ear.
Yeah,
because these kind of guns, they're not built for delicate.
Absolutely, yeah, they're built to just fire bullets. That's it.
Yeah,
and I mean that's what I'm quite looking forward to. It's just a single shot bolt action rifle. You've only got 5 rounds in the chamber, so that means you're not going to be sort of jumping around and heavy machine. There are going to be machine guns and stuff, but there'll still be only a few varieties. It's going to
be limited. Yeah,
but I mean it's going to be interesting for like the classes and things as well, because like with Battlefield, like Battlefield 4, there's like the medic runs around with a defibrillator and you zap them back to life and stuff. Obviously, that's not going to be in this. It can't be. So there's so many questions I've got as to how are you going to do with this? Who are you going to be fighting as? Is it going to be?
Yeah.
Is it just going to be purely the English? Is it going to be the Americans as well? Obviously, there's these Harlem Hellfighters who are going to be the sort of the main focus of the campaign mission. We were like an American Special Forces kind of thing. But you're going to be fighting with the Tommies mainly. It's going to be.
It seems to be that way.
Yeah, it's going to be the Russians and the Germans, obviously. So.
I imagine a lot of what's the word? I can't think of the word for it, but basically trying not to offend anyone too much.
Well,
because granted, it's based on a real life event.
That's true, yeah.
But I imagine, as with what we were saying with Power Rangers, I'm going to assume this is going to be something they are going to take liberties with. It's not going to be accurate.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll have a version of some Nazis or some Russians or something, but not necessarily saying that these are the bad people.
It will no doubt be, instead of whatever caused World War One, the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand, it could be something very different to that, but it still triggers the same kind of global conflict. But maybe not at the same period of time, maybe it would be 10, 20 years later, which is why technology is slightly more advanced, which means, again, they can sort of take liberties and say, well, that's why we can have these automatic shotguns, is because in this alternate future, then that's developed around that time. It's fine.
Yeah.
And the Zeppelins and stuff, so they are going to be great fun. They're going to just fly into the middle of the map and just annihilate everyone. But Battlefront is been a great sort of precursor to this, because you've got AT-ATs wandering around, you've got AT-STs that are sort of blowing people apart, you've got TIE fighters and TIE interceptors flying around, as well as all different types of ground units with all different loadouts and stuff, and it works seamlessly.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they just said, well, the maps are going to be way bigger than Battlefront, but there's going to be ocean, so you can have people on boats firing artillery into the main, so people are firing flares or whatever to mark where they need fire support. But there's also going to be biplanes that are flying around and stuff as well, dropping bombs on people.
That'd be cool though, like running in off a boat and you got the water and you got like fucking bombs like landing in the water and like the shockwave of the water sending you back more and stuff.
Yeah,
as you're just trying to get to land.
I think it's an important thing in immersion. Is the reaction of whoever it is that you're playing at. Usually, if it's just there's bombs flying up, you're just all charging through. As long as you don't get hit directly, you're usually fine. But being blown around and stuff like that, having to pick yourself up in things like Uncharted, Tomb Raider, it's a great thematic sort of mechanic to it. You know, something goes off and you get flown across a room and smashed into a wall, and you go, oh fucking hell, and you know you have to fight with them to pick them up. But that's not something that happens much in first-person shooters, because it should just be straightforward run and gun. So if they are, as they claim to be, sort of pushing the boundaries, these are the kind of things that I want to see. You know, when you know there are going to be sort of real, you're going to be running out of bullets, and you know your gun can't fire fast enough to get someone who's running at you, so you're going to have to switch to a sword or a mace or your shovel and just beat the living shit out of them instead. And you know, so trying to sort of like, so as long as it's not just you pop them on the edge, they go down, and then off you go to the next one. If it's like a full, you know, you got a, because like in Battlefield 4 they introduced this kind of counter-attack melee thing. So if you could see the attack coming, you had the chance to counter-attack, and you could flip their knife around and stab it into them instead. So
that'd be cool.
Building on something like that, you could have a bit of a tussle. You know, in that sort of like, you know, in Saving Private Ryan, when the American guy and the German guy are sort of rolling around on the floor with a knife, and eventually the German guy manages to get on top of him and push it down into him. Something along those kind of lines, where it's just sort of like you've really got to fight to survive, sort of thing. I think that would be, that would make it for me. You know, the level of detail that they have the potential to go into. It's just trying to get that level of sort of melee combat working on a 64-player map. Probably isn't too easy.
Well, no, but as much as it pains me to say it, QuickTime.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. It's an easy way through it.
But it because it would be seemingly random, I'd welcome it. And it's just like, you know, I'm going to fucking stab this guy, and then he just happens to turn around at the right time, and that shit encounters it, and then you're both just fucking mashing away. I would honestly, I'd be fine with that.
I think, yeah, given the fact that it's mainly going to be a firefight.
Because the likelihood of it happening multiple times in a match is pretty slim.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not like...
I think, you know, I think that the days of just running up to someone and just you swing the butt of the gun out and that kills them, I think they're gone. I just don't think you can do that and get away with it anymore. Like, obviously that's what happens in Battlefront, it happens in Call of Duty and Doom, it happens in a lot of first
every game.
Exactly, but even in Battlefield 4, you know, you sort of run up behind someone and, or you know, if you go around a corner, you just smack them. That'll be it. But usually, if you're coming up from the front or from behind, there will be an animation that happens, and in which case both parties are immune. I think, I can't remember, but they're immune to incoming gunfire whilst this animation happens. But like I say, there is this. If you're seeing them coming, there is this counter-attack option. If they worked on that, and you couldn't be shot by someone else in this sort of 3 or 4 seconds where this tussle is happening, and you've just got to, you know, hit a few keys in a right order or something like that. You know, so it comes like X, Y, B, Y, B, 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 Y, and you've got to get them all right, and it's whoever gets the most right, they get to come out on top. You're right. I could kind of deal with that in a quick time event sort of thing.
Because it's not going to be like something like, don't get me wrong, I fucking love it, but like Fahrenheit and Heavy Rain, stuff like that. None of that stuff.
No, you can't do sort of the turning to like 90 degrees on the right thumbstick and then holding L1, pressing L2, and then rotating 90 degrees on the left thumbstick. It's just half the match is over by that point.
Maybe 2 buttons max. So one to grab the knife and one to try and fucking stab it.
I don't know. I want to see more. You know, I want to see the because the open beta comes out over the next couple of months or so. So there's an EA early access.
I think the only way, if you're an EA or Origin Access member, you'll be able to play the game on October 18th. The full release will then follow October 21st. Or you could also pre-order the deluxe edition of the game to get access to a beta.
Well, no, you get guaranteed access to the beta. So there'll still be an open beta where everyone can just try and get in. Obviously, it's whether you can or not is the question. So, although I'm not signing up for EA access for this, I probably won't even buy it within the first couple of months because it'll be broken. Yeah, it'll be broken. And, you know, I can't blame them for that. The fact is that they've now released a game that looks so interesting and so good. I can imagine that even if they fixed all the problems that they had to deal with in Battlefield 4 and maybe the ones that they had in Battlefront as well, maybe again they're not anticipating the amount of people that will immediately get this and try and play it on day one, and then it'll break again. So I'm more than happy to give it a couple of months just for the hype to settle down. See what sort of DLC, see what reaction is coming from it as well. If it's garbage, then I'm not going to buy it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, we could be doing all this, getting all excited, and it could just be a big bag of wank.
Yeah, but I mean, even if it was just a sort of a Battlefield 4.5, Battlefield 4 is still really good. So I can't fault them for that. But if it's just 4.5, I'll stick with Battlefront because I have more fun with Battlefront because it's Star Wars. Whereas
they can't come out with a. It can't be 4.5. It's got to be, with the exception of it being a first-person shooter and it shares the same first bit of the title. It's got to be a new game.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's got to be.
I mean, the squad mechanics and the vehicles and everything like that. That's the integral part. It's everything else that they can build on.
Yeah.
So as long as you keep it, and plus, when you've got 30 guys in a trench firing at 30 other guys in a trench, there isn't room to go off and Rambo it. You get up before everyone else. You get blown away. So, again, I don't want to force people to cooperate, but in Battlefield, it makes more sense to do so.
Yeah.
With Call of Duty, in my experience, that doesn't necessarily happen. The only
hot luck half the time.
It's just basically team deathmatch rules.
Yeah.
You kind of get to a point, or there's a futuristic basketball thing where you throw a thing through a laser thing. It's just. But again, it's just still, as long as you kill everyone, then you'll probably win.
Yeah.
Whereas with Battlefield, it's not just about the amount of kills that you get. You can get 2 kills, but still be top of the leaderboard because you've completed all the objectives.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of what makes it a more interesting team player thing. And especially like with things like Battlefront, when you're the rebels, you've got to take down an AT-AT. You've got the people on the ground who are dealing with all the troops, then the people with the smart rockets or in the turrets and stuff that are taking care of the AT-STs, and then you've got the people in the snow speeders who are trying to take down the AT-ATs with X-wings covering them. there's a lot of different stages and a lot of different levels that people are having to work together on to support other people in a different in a vehicle or
It makes it more fun though.
Yeah, which is why I want this sort of I want 32 on 32. I want a few people in a battleship firing rounds over, a few people in the air dropping bombs and shooting down planes, and then everyone else is on the floor with various objectives to complete amongst themselves.
Yeah.
And that, as long as they get that, then it will work.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, could be really good.
Yeah, as soon as we hear any more news about Battlefield 1 even, we'll let you know.
We shall indeed. However, Dan, that's it.
That is about it.
That's everything. Coming up on the channel, what have we got? Stuff.
Yeah.
We have got our Captain America Civil War spoiler cast.
Oh shit! Yeah, that was the one.
Which we'll film that tomorrow. And then with new Can You Believe It that we still haven't done.
Yes, there's also...
And some more Snowblind.
Yeah, Snowblind. There's also Don't Starve Together, again. Another thing we need to do, we've got some more Left 4 Dead 2. We still need to do Marvel Heroes, actually, while I'm thinking about it. We haven't done that yet. And imagine with all the Civil War characters and stuff that have been added to it, there'll be some new skins and stuff.
Just have to have a look. Other than that, though, we'll just wing it. We'll see where we get.
Yeah, well, APB maybe. Throw a bit of that.
You know what I started playing today, Dan?
Oh, go on.
Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh, shit, really?
It's really good.
Was it a Vita thing, or...?
I'm playing it on the Shield, but it's on everything.
Was that the one you got for free?
Yeah. Yeah, but you can get it's on PS4.
Well, speaking of though,
PC,
we do need to do some Borderlands 2 as well.
Yes, we do.
A lot of different
very
things.
much do, actually.
Yeah.
So definites this week: Civil War spoiler cast, Borderlands 2. Can You Believe It?
Oh yes.
Definites.
Other bits thrown in as and when.
As and when. Anyway, I'm going.
Yes.
I suggest you do the same. Get some sleep.
Absolutely.
Because we've got a busy week.
We've always got a busy week.
Always.
Yeah.
So, bonjour.
So if you want to check out the rest of the stuff, you can go to the website,
Oh,
which is www.podcastvsplayer.com or .co.uk. You can send us an email to playervpodcast@gmail.com. Go to the Twitter, which is @podcastvplayer.
Ooh.
Instagram, which is just podcastvsplayer. Or YouTube, which is no doubt where you've seen this, which is going to be youtube.com/podcastvsplayer.
Wow.
All of them, one big go.
Did you write them down?
I didn't. I knew you were going to say that as well. And no, I didn't. I remembered them all.
Well done. It's only taken like 94 episodes.
Yeah. But actually, I just thought at the end of the month I'm going to be with you. What we got for that?
I think down because of Civil War.
Yeah.
Some Marvel Battlegrounds.
Ooh, good call.
I've got Captain America and Iron Man, so, and all the rest of the team.
Shotgun Iron Man.
That's fine. Spider-Man.
No, it was Captain America or Iron Man. You can't just be Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a pain in the arse on Battlegrounds.
Yeah, Cap's fine. I don't mind being Cap.
Yeah, alright then.
These days. So yeah, we'll do some of that and whatever else we can manage to put together.
Fair enough.
I can't think of anything else off the top of my head.
No.
But we'll definitely do that though. Battlegrounds, like.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right. Anything before we go?
No.
Good. Bye.